Hey there, it's Toasty Fresh. I'm back with another collections video. I'm looking like a Star Trek cannon fodder in my red t-shirt, but what the hey, I'm willing to brave the risks of game hunting for you guys, and I'm here to bring you the latest video games I've been collecting. Again, it's going to be a PlayStation 2 only list, so if you don't want to know about PlayStation 2 games, turn away now, because that's all we're going to be talking about. And first up is Conflict Vietnam, and I got that for 75p from Entertainment Exchange. It comes complete with an upside down manual, and this is made by Renderware, which I got another game, Commandos, which is the same people, must have been involved in that. And it's got some quite hefty reviews of some people, like Games Master give it 86%, Loaded, which I can't really trust to be honest too greatly, 92%, so it might be an okay kind of war game. You know, I know a lot of people do like the Conflict series. I know there's like Desert Storm, I think it is as well, Conflict Desert Storm, and there's a couple of others. I can't say that I've played any myself, and there's a little quote there from the top, from Ho Chi Minh, saying, "You can kill 10 of my men for every one I kill of yours, but even at those odds you will lose and I will win." So I've spoken like a true dictator, and I'm not talking about somebody with vegetables for genitalia, but that's Conflict Vietnam. I've not actually played it yet, but by those reviews, hopefully it shouldn't suck too hard. And then moving on, I got a game that was kind of recommended for some people. I was in a discussion about video games, and someone said this is a good one to get, and it's Gottlieb, I think that's how you pronounce it, Pinball Classics, the ultimate in pinball wizardry. And this one, it says the most accurate simulation of all time, and that's what the person who recommended this said. It said it's absolute faithful recreations of some of the classic old pinball machines. I wouldn't know because I don't know too much about pinball machines. Like, I think the only one I can really remember playing was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the film with Robert De Niro in. I played the pinball of that, but that's about it. And it's complete. It only costs £1, and it'll be kind of fun to play. I remember playing the ones that have been on the PlayStation Store. I forgot what the pinball game's called, but I have played that. So if it's anything like that, it might be good to spend a little bit of time on. And another one I've got is a movie tie-in, and I got it because it was only 30p, and that's Minority Report. And I got that because one thing is it's cool. Well, one thing I found out about it that's cool though as well is the disc looks pretty sweet. That silver disc, and it's even got the little postcode thing to register the game. And I think in all reports, it's meant to be quite a good, and no pun intended there, it's meant to be quite a good movie cash-in all accounts, to a pretty reasonable film as well. I didn't mind the film at all. I don't think it follows the events of the film. I'm not too sure whether you're playing a different agent. I think you're playing a different agent, to be honest. It's nothing to do with the plot of the film. You're a different agent that's been set up, pretty similar, but just using a different character. Next up, I got SSX Tour from EA Sports Big. Don't know if you remember those. I used to come up with them at the beginning of the game. And I haven't played this one. I fell away from the series after SSX Tricky, but I had some great times high score battling with my brother, because he went out and bought, there's no instruction booklet for that one, but he went out and bought the original SSX when I bought. I was the only person in my family for a while who had a PlayStation 2, and I was still living at home then, and my brother was too. And he really wanted to play SSX for some reason, so he went out and bought it, like laid down the 40 quid or whatever it was back then. Might have even been 44.99, because that was right when they were brand new. It was kind of like almost a launch lineup. And he laid the money out and said as long as he could play on it whenever he asked, I could keep it in my room and play it as well. And we had kind of running competitions, like to do the courses so you could get the highest scores or the fastest times. And see who clocked up the most completion rating, who could complete the game faster, and that was just harks back to the time of me and him sharing the SNES and the Super Nintendo and playing Mario Kart, and we did that with that. We battled on the courses trying to get the fastest times on time trials and things like that. So, and I did really enjoy the game, so that'll be a good game to go out and play. Moving on, I got another classic game that's kind of had another remake, a new lease of life on the PlayStation 2, which there's quite a few of them, and it's Pitfall: The Lost Expedition. And I've never played this, but sadly there's no instruction booklet. But for only 59p, which is what I paid for it, the price stick is still on it there, which was from a cash generator in Accrington. It's not too bad. Plus, the bonus of this is that you get the original Pitfall and Pitfall 2, the classic games, there as bonus content, so you can go ahead and relive the classics as well. And I always like that in games. It's always a nice little touch for games to go back to the roots and show you where they began. And I'll start with these ones actually. I'll leave that game because I'm trying to do them kind of almost in order of what I'd rather play first. And these two games, I might as well almost show them together. I got Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 2, and I got both of those. I picked them up because I had Devil May Cry 3, which I got in a bundle. I bought a second-hand PlayStation 2, basically purely for the games. I already had a PlayStation 2. It might have been the Slim actually, because I got a PlayStation 2 Slim, so I've got a Slim and a fat one, and I've got a spare fat one. And I got it for the games basically, and I got Devil May Cry 3 in with that bundle, so I thought I'd go ahead and complete the kind of set the trilogy. I don't know if there's any more. I don't think there is, because it's Devil May Cry 4 for the PlayStation 2, which I've got. So there, I've got the trilogy now. The only bad thing is the case is pretty beat up bad, and it's a double one, so I'd have to go and find a double case somewhere. If not, just swap it into another case. But they're kind of like, I think, Onimusha, that kind of thing. I haven't played these. I have played Onimusha, so I think it's that kind of thing. But maybe a bit more arcadey, I think, where Onimusha was more kind of like Resident Evil. I think these are a bit more arcadey. But you can correct me on that one, because that's my ignorance of those titles. The next ones up is Yakuza. And this is kind of like a Grand Theft Auto type. Well, I don't think it's complete Grand Theft Auto like. I think it's a little bit more linear. It's not as maybe free world. I'm not too sure though. And I've always wanted to play this game, but I remember back in the day, years and years ago when I did want to play it, it was still expensive in the shops. And I think I wanted to try this, and I wanted to try God Hand, and they were both still quite dear. They were as dear as some of the second-hand PlayStation 3 games at the time. So I finally got hold of it, and that was £4 in Entertainment Exchange, and it just looks quite good. I remember playing the demo to some of them. I don't know if it was these or the first one that came out for the PlayStation 3, and I thought, yeah, I think I'd like to go back and try these. It was Sega that made these, and usually the quality is still quite high on Sega games. So I'm looking forward to playing that. It's the kind of same kind of thing that you'd expect from a crime game. This time covering Japanese Yakuza. It's about being in prison, which is kind of like Vice City. And you come out, some money goes missing, and then you're getting hunted down. And you've got to find out who stole this 10 billion yen. So it's kind of like Vice City kind of storyline, because that's a similar one. And Michael Madsen's in this, which he's in a hell of a lot of crime kind of games and things like that. Like he's in Grand Theft Auto 2, and he's been in some other stuff as well. And Mark Hamill's in this as well, so it's a pretty stellar voice cast, because he did some great work as the Joker. So that should be a pretty good game to play. Some more kind of kung fu action going on, and it's a game that I'd never seen before until I saw this. And it's Jet Li Rise to Honor, and I got that because I love me some martial art flicks and Chinese and Hong Kong cinema, so I had to go and get that because he's one of the kind of leading figures in that, and that's Jet Li. So I've got a Jet Li game, and I'll show you in a minute. I've got another person, and it looks kind of like a Max Payne kind of true crime kind of game where you've got fighting, you've got kung fu action, and you've got gunplay as well. It's kind of like one of his films basically, maybe a westernish kind of one, so Kiss of the Dragon, that kind of thing. I mean, not as good as his Chinese films, so I don't know how good it is, but I got it basically due to Jet Li being on the front probably, so, you know, I kind of fanboyed out on that one. And then moving on to another one of my kind of heroes in that field, and it's Jackie Chan Adventures, which is following the cartoon, and I did watch the cartoon as well when I was younger. I did still, I think, watch cartoons back then. I think I was in high school when that was out, but I still ended up watching that for some reason. I think again mainly because it was Jackie Chan. But that's complete. And I used to have the game for the Game Boy Advance as well. This looks like kind of more like a 3D kind of game. And like the next game that's coming up as well, it looks pretty similar to that. It's actually also got a R-Toy compatibility. I don't know how that features into it, but it follows the kind of theme of the film, the cartoon, should I say, where you're going after the amulets that give you special powers, and it's about defeating these demons, like there's a wind demon and things like that, from what I remember. And the bad guys are called the Hand, I think it is, or the Black Hand or something like that. And it was kind of a cool cartoon. And I remember there always used to be an interview with Jackie Chan at the end of the cartoon as well. So if anyone else remembers that, post your comments of, did you like the cartoon? You know, did you like it as much as I did, or did you not like it? You know, or do you remember it at all? And well, that's the game. There you go. And that cost me, I think it was £2 or something from Entertainment Exchange. Moving on to another cartoon from my childhood. Not this version of the cartoon though, and it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This game is based on the 2000 cartoon, which is meant to be pretty decent actually, from all accounts. I think it's this one that a lot of people have told me is pretty good. But that comes complete. This was part of a game that I got from a market stall where I grew up, and it's a town where I grew up. And it was on the 3 for 2. On the last video, the last 2 games I got on a 3 for 2 deal. This was it. And it was probably the first game I picked up actually and decided, yes, I want this. And it kind of follows in probably the same vein as the NES or the SNES games, if you've ever played those, or Double Dragon if not, or anything like that, Final Fight, any of those, Streets of Rage, that kind of thing, except it's a little bit 3D. It's got some cool kind of cel-shaded graphics. I have played this, and it's not too bad. It just reminds me of the original games. I used to go around to my mate's house who had a NES, normal Nintendo, and that we used to play on Turtles game, and you know, having a lot of fun with that. That was back at the heart of like kind of turtle power in the early 90s, I think it was for me. I know it's been going since the 80s, but it was still wildly popular. And you can do 2-player. I think it only goes to 2-player, so that's kind of a shame. It would have been maybe cooler if you could have had 3 players, 4 player, up to 4 players as well. But there you go. But that was a cool game, and that cost me basically, I don't know, it was 3 for £5 anyway, so not that much money. I think that's what it was anyway. And then moving on, we're going into comic stuff, and well, the film of the comic, and that's Spider-Man. And again, another pretty decent movie cash-in, I think. And I remember playing a demo to this from one of like the PlayStation magazines back when they still did the demo discs. And it's meant to be pretty decent. I don't know if it's as kind of open world as what the PlayStation 1 game was. I only remember the original PlayStation 1 game. I had a lot of fun with that, playing around with it. You know, you could collect the different Spider-Man costumes, and there was comic book covers as well, just to give you a bit of history of the, you know, the comic and where the character came from and things like that, the big issues. And you know, that was good to have that kind of information, because I've never read the comic books at all. I only went from the cartoon that was amazing in the 90s, and the films and the games basically. So I've never played all the way through this, so this should be pretty cool to go and play. If it's anything like the PlayStation 1 games, it'll be fun for death. Or I don't know if it got amazing reviews. And another game that's going to be giant for game of the video for me. It's another one of those games that I really wanted to play back in the day, and again I think it was quite expensive, and that's Ultimate Spider-Man, and I got the added bonus of getting this in the limited edition case, which is why I just had to get it straight away. I don't think I was even planning on buying games at the time, but I just grabbed this off the shelf when I was just window shopping basically, and it cost £4.50, and it's cool. It's got this kind of foily kind of case, sleeve. It's beat up a little bit, but I don't know if you'll get one in pristine condition. It's got the kind of Spider-Man logo, and I don't know if that's a Venom logo on the back, and it's got like a cool kind of comic book kind of instruction booklet, and it's got some bonus features on this, so it's not just kind of a limited edition. I don't think just for the sake of it. It's got some special movies on the making of the game, and character biographies and things like that, and some tips from the developers. I think there's some other stuff as well, like I think you get there's meant to be a comic book on this as well, so maybe that's a comic book to read through, I don't know, but that'd be pretty cool. And it's one that I always wanted to play. It's got that cool kind of cel-shaded graphics, like I said, that there was at this time, I think it was like 2005, 2004, that cel-shading games like these, like the Turtles, and there was 13 the FPS, Beautiful Joe, Dark Cloud 2, there was a lot of cel-shading going on, really bang into fashion back then, and it looks great. It looks just like a moving cartoon from what I remembered. So I'm going to be loving going and playing this one, because this is definitely, I think, more open world. But tell me what you think about it. Tell me if it is actually a great game, and maybe a topic. What is your favourite game from a comic book? I probably have to say, for me, I don't know. I think the first Spider-Man on the PlayStation 1, off the top of my head, being put on the spot, so to speak. And the last one for the video, because I love my JRPGs or any kind of role-playing games, it's Grandia 2. It cost me £5, and if you can find an RPG, especially JRPG, for £5, I suggest you grab it, because I don't know if they'll be that price for much longer. It says featuring new, never before seen cinematics as well, so I don't know if that's exclusive to the PlayStation 2 edition, because this, I think it was released for the Dreamcast, if I'm not mistaken, too. It's another series I've never played. I've played some of the others. It started, I think, on like from the PlayStation 1 era. I've never played it, so it looks quite good though, really good. And the other one looked quite charming on the PlayStation 1. It's slightly updated to what they like. It was more of the old traditional sprites, I think, on the original one for the PlayStation 1. They've updated it a little bit, but not too much by the look of it. They've kind of tried to keep that feel of it, and I'm going to really enjoy playing that. So my two games of the video are going to be Ultimate Spider-Man and Grandia 2. If it was your choice, what would be your picks of the video? Do you agree with me that they're probably the top two games? And I'll sneeze. Or would you have picked something else? Maybe your leanings go towards something else, like Yakuza or something like that. So that would have been pretty high up, maybe third on my list. If not, maybe something else. But if you've got anything to say about any of the games, feel free to comment and get involved in the video, because that's what I'd love to see. But that's all I got time for on this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed having a look through what I've been collecting. Next time it's going to be a bit more of a mixed bag of consoles and things like that, and platforms, so a bit of a departure, but that'll be for another time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoy making it, but I'll see you guys another time. That's all.